think for me, going back to the character David, when I was in a dark time in my life, it was like 2018, 2019. I was coming off an injury, lens frank, right? Which is, now I feel like it's still like irregular. It's basically like the skeletal bone in your foot separates by like not much. And it's a non-contact injury. And it set me down. And throughout that process, you know, I was one of those people in church. I grew up in church. I know more gospel hymns and songs than rap music, right? So for me, during that time, I asked my father, who was the most influential person in my life, I was like, man, Pop, man, give me something. It's like I was called to like start from scratch. I said, I've been going to church all my life, but I don't know really no tangible ideas that I can relate to and say, oh, this is my favorite character. Why is this my favorite character? Because he did X, Y, Z. And he told me to start reading Samuel.
Yeah.
And as I started reading Samuel, I started realizing, you know, okay, God only had two people, to my knowledge, right, that was touched pre-birth. That was Samuel and Samson, right? And as I started reading, I was like, oh man, I'm not even a reader. Now I'll watch a documentary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I love information. I love education or educating myself on something from the past. And as I started reading about David and how, you know, Samuel was called to find the new king.
Yeah.
From Jesse.
Yeah.
So he goes there, blah, 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 blah. He said, man, let me see your sons.
That's right.
Sons come out, swole as I don't know.
Exactly.
You know, it was almost like, boom, I'm him. And Samuel's trying to get a sign. He's not getting it. Another son come out, boom. Oh, yeah, oh, you must be talking about so-and-so. So-and-so comes out. No.
Exactly.
I'm not, it ain't hitting me. You know what I'm saying? God, is it him? Like, you sure? My boy got triceps and biceps, man, that I could squeeze a walnut with it between his arms. No. Then right before he was about to get up out of there, he said, hey, you got another son? He said, oh yeah, we got another one, but he a shepherd's boy.
Yeah,
you know
you don't want this kid.
Boom. And that, for me, was the connectivity or the being born again, to realizing that God don't look at the outer sphere. He looks at the inside.
That's right.
And that's when he knew David, because he seen his heart. You feel me? So throughout this whole time, when I was going through a dark side of my life or a darkness in my life where I just felt like I needed football, like football was everything to me. This is how I provided everything for my family. You know, the character David kind of was the life to me. And the same issues that he was having or that he had, multiple wives, concubines, things that, you know, being a warrior, you know, good looking, a people's pleaser, you know, musically inclined.
Right.
Is a King Saul. That was supposed in essence be the prodigy, like,
right.
But Saul was jealous.
Exactly. Exactly.
And, you know, as you're going through your journey, you start seeing like, man, it be the people that's closest to you.
Boy.
That just be like, bro, like, man, I want us to win.
I've always been that way, and I found out that it's not that way for everybody else. Mm-hmm. I learned the hard way that people will celebrate you as long as they can keep their hands on you.
Right.
But the moment you elevate beyond their ability to control you, they're not going to celebrate as much.
Right.
And what I love about David, because to me, he's my favorite character. Between him and Peter, I can identify. Peter's bipolar. Peter's like, I love you. I ain't never going to sell you out. 10 minutes later, I never heard of him. I don't know who he is. Jesus? I don't know no Jesus.
Yeah. That's the guy.
But David was a complex man. He was a broken boy who didn't have fathering or mothering. Mm-hmm. His brothers couldn't stand him. So he went inside. He went internal. And he developed all these other things, like you said. And this is the thing, you talked about how people know you, but what this is an evolution and an expansion of who you are. Right. You're not confined to 100 yards on a football field. Correct. Because you were never confined to that. That might be the platform God chose for the world to know your name, but that's not the final way that we're going to know you. The thing about David is he is a case study in evolution. He went from following sheep and being faithful in somebody else's responsibility to being the leader of a nation. So, he was a shepherd. He was a warrior. He was a singer. He was a dancer, because even his dance, when he danced out of his kingly clothes. Yes, so he's artistic, he's creative, but he didn't do good in relationships because nobody ever trained him. And when you're the baby boy and they telling you you can't do nothing and you ugly and all of a sudden now you got all the girls hollering at you, well, I'm smashing everything moving. Right. Oh, you tell me I can't have who? Bathsheba right there, she taking a bath?
Right there. I want her. Go get her. I need her.
And first of all, let's get this straight. Bathsheba knew what she was doing. Yeah. Nobody ever talks about that. You know when he's on that balcony. Come on now. And you know to put yourself out there so he can see it. Come on. You know, Bathsheba, you know.
It's some Bathshebas, man.
It's some Bathshebas taking a bath on the balcony.
Come on now.
Trying to get the attention of the king.
Look. But the thing is, and this is what I dislike about religion. It's always taken out of context to appease what you may specifically go through. Like, tell me a Bible verse. Jesus wept. Yeah, but you don't know why Jesus wept. Right. You see what I'm saying? I can do all things across the street. Yeah, but it was passage before and also passage after. You're going to just say a part of something that you say. It said in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel in that time of my life, right, I had everything, still got everything. But I didn't have no outlet to go through. And when you're talking about the Bathsheba situation, it's so relatable to me because it was only, I believe it was one time that was the situation that displeased God most about David. It wasn't many times, right? God, I want to follow after your heart. That's what I want. And he gave every single head of every single enemy that David ever had. That's right. You see what I'm saying? And one thing about David, him being a warrior, he could have killed Saul multiple occasions. That's right. But he was a man of God. He said, no. I ain't gonna do that. And to the person who was following David, who killed King Saul, David killed him.
That's right.
Like, no. You don't get to choose.
Yeah, you ain't gonna.
That's God's situation. That ain't you. And too many times in life, people are trying to take it upon themselves that say, I was moved and God, like, no. That ain't, don't put that on my God.
That's right.
Right? But at the end of the day, you have to discern. And I think when that situation with Bathsheba, and for the people who don't know, David was supposed to be in battle. He wasn't. He was counseled to stay back. And God would have given David anything his heart desired.
Anything. And Cam, I got to say this is going to mess with some people's religion. God spoke through the prophet Nathan and said to David, he said, I gave you the house of your father Saul. I gave you his wives. He said, and if that was not enough, I would have given you more. Right. He was talking about David's relational appetite. Right. Nobody wants to talk about that. What he was saying is, David, if who you're in relationship with was not enough, you could have come to me and I would have provided the right way. What God was saying is, what you did was wrong. Your appetite was not wrong. How you addressed it, how you fulfilled it was wrong. Right. So there is
you didn't come to me.
That's right. There's a legitimate need here, but you filled it in an illegitimate way. You killed a man so that you could cover up something you had already done. Correct. I'm not going to rock with that. Right. And the fruit of that thing cannot live. And so, but what was profound to me was God as a father, not just this big, angry, being that in the universe.
Down and said, that ain't right.
He said, come on, son, you know better. You know how we get down. I've been with you since we was in the field together. You know this is not how you do that. All you had to do was come to me. And this is something I had to learn because maybe 3.5, 4 years ago, I wanted to end not only my life, but ministry. I hated church. And I couldn't stand church people because the very people that I had served, some, not all, but some of the people that I had served and fought for and, went to battle for, when I started going through hell, couldn't find them. Couldn't find them. While I'm making you millions,
Right.
while I'm helping the economy of all these church conferences and I'm packing out your conferences, I'm getting all the phone calls.
Right.
But then when I go through hell, all of a sudden I'm judged, but I helped your thing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there was a lot of bitterness there. My wife, we've been married 12 years now.
Yes, sir.
And, it came to a point where I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be married anymore. I don't think I want to be married. I don't know how to be married. All the fatherhood issues that I never addressed came back. All of the repressed sexual issues. Because when sex is introduced to you wrong, that's all you know.
Yes, sir.
So sex is bad, it's dirty, it's unclean. When I was 10 or 11, my body started changing. I had a wet dream. I went and told my mother. She was like, you need to ask the Lord for forgiveness and go take a bath. That was the conversation, as opposed to saying, Let's talk about it. This is a part of growing up as a young boy. She didn't know. Right. But what it did is now I'm wrong without trying. So now there's shame.
Right.
So I brought all of that unaddressed trauma into a marriage with a woman who had no clue that all of this was going on. In our premarital counseling, bruh, we scored hundreds on communication, vision, shared goals. Scored a 0 on sexual intimacy because I didn't talk about it. I was like, we don't need to talk about it. God gonna give me that on our wedding day.
Right.
That's not what happened. What's up, family? It's John Gray. You gotta be locked in on Funky Fridays this Friday. I'm with my boy Cam Boogie. It's the Boogie Man. It's the Boogie Meister. You need to come here. We're gonna talk all things manhood, relationship, religion, love, and a lot more. You wanna be there. You wanna know more about me? Holla at me at releaseyourroarlive.com.
Oh. Boy, he did this before. But that's tough. One take Drake out of here, man.